It could be morning, it could be night, it could be even Friday early for you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. What's going on? We're gonna get into this thing today. We're gonna see where we are. Hope everybody's doing good. Get this thing live. See what we got. Got a good question up. What's going on? We're gonna talk about it. Let's get to it. We're gonna get into it. I don't know how many people are gonna come through today. And I think tomorrow I pretty much go to a regular time, but today kind of was late to the party, but it's all good. We're gonna see how people feel. We're gonna see. Just coming on real quick, so we're gonna see what we work. Hope everybody doing good. It's a Thursday. It's a lot of politics going on. People got different sways, different opinions about stuff. So we're gonna see what's up. We're gonna have a lot of people coming through. Hopefully, we'll have people coming through. We got a lot to talk. A lot going on in the world. Okay, I don't know who this is, but okay. Because I don't understand what people's emojis, but we just gonna find out. We're gonna have you in here. Thank you for coming through. I'm trying to send out these notifications about so that I'm live today. So feel free to be patient. Hello, how you? Thank you for. Hello, how are you? Thank you for coming through. Well, in America, in case you ever noticed, that's what they promote. White South Africans coming up to the United States. And as you know, a lot of migrants got shipped out. So that's the thing in the news. I don't know where you are in the world, so maybe it didn't pertain to you, but in the States, that's a big thing. What's up? Oh, thank you, thank you. You must have got my message. Yeah, I had to step out. I was doing 15 things today. Thanks for coming through, man. I really appreciate it. I was going to a studio, and then I went to, had to go grocery. I had to get some store. I had to go to the grocery store. You ain't gonna believe how the grocery store was bare to the bone. That store got hacked, and it was crazy. You could see your shadow in there. It's crazy. Play basketball. Well, it depends on what kind of games you're talking about. Play regular games. But anyway, what's up? What's up? Thanks, Ted. What's up? Holla at your boy. Holla. I just thought I'd do a different question. I didn't want to talk about the Golden State Warriors unless you want to talk about it. But I did do some videos. I talked about the Warriors in the video. And I talked about this NBA parody too. I got another video about that because I got a take that I'm gonna talk about it. The that they don't that I think this parody thing is gonna be interesting. Of course he does. Old school Italian boy. What you think? And I'm not no, don't take that the wrong way, but you know, old school. If you ever watched Do the Right Thing, you ever seen the movie Do the Right Thing? Give me a one if you seen Do the Right Thing. Sal's Pizzeria, Spike Lee. If you seen Do the Right Thing, because I know it was before your time. Yeah, unless they can get somebody like Giannis. Okay, Sal's Pizzeria. Think about Sal and then think about Mad Dog. Hey, mozzarella costs extra. I could so see him in Sal's Pizzeria. Cause I forgot what it was. There was a segment about something, and you know he has to curb how he talk. Oh, I already know. Old school Italian dude too. Come on now, you already know. Yeah, I mean, unless they get their hands on somebody like Giannis, yeah, he is. He light skinned. He got Creole in him. He looked like Beyonce's what are you talking about he did? What do you mean when he did? Yeah, the new Pope, he looked, you know, if you go to Louisiana, Beyonce, I mean like if you yeah, if you understand that mixture, yeah, he's got that in it, but it don't really matter what you need. What's up, Calvin? Thanks for coming through. What you need. That's a no brainer for me. A minute work was cool, but they couldn't groove like in excess. In excess had it going on for a moment. For a moment. Michael Hutchison for a moment. I just get Sal's Pizzeria when I watch him. That's all. I just got this feeling he's conservative, typical Paisan cat, and I just got a feeling about him. It's just something about them beady eyes that I just know that he has to. Because I know that whole game he plays with, you know, Stephen A. That's a New York thing, and I get it. You know, I'm just saying. I could be wrong, but I don't think I am. I've been upstate New York, and I didn't dealt with some of them Guidos, and so he just checks me like that. He just do. He just do. Cause he when he gets passionate about something, them hands start talking. Yeah, if he told the truth about Bill Russell, he would be more telling the truth. And that's the only thing I would want him to tell the truth. And they don't never ever tell the truth that Bill Russell ain't just a basketball player. That he should be immortalized. He should almost get streets named after him for what he had to endure. They ain't gonna talk about that though. Yeah, but see, for the people who don't really read between the lines, Snoop sold out. Snoop's on the game. Who lied on Bill? No, 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 no. He ain't lying on him. What I mean is he don't tell the truth about how racist it was. That's what I'm getting at. See, that's what I mean. So you could say he lied on him because they ain't gonna tell the truth, the whole truth. They sit there and talk about Cal your strength. They ain't gonna tell you about what Bill went through. Not really, not really. But see, this is the thing. Cassie's husband, though, that's the trip out thing. He up there acting like he all knew and he wants to look at Diddy crazy. I said, no good well, you know what went down? He was your Diddy's body trainer. No, good and well, you know how freaky it was. And get into the groove. Come on now. That's not up for discussion. I like Cuckoo too. But it's more like a niche song. That's one of them niche songs. I like the message, but you can't argue against Madonna and her peak and her prime. You gotta come up with something better. Um, he'll never talk about it. Mm-mm. Bob Ryan won't either. Not like that. Shoot, they gloss over the fact that Cedric Cornbread Maxwell went through stuff. Brothers in the '80s went through stuff in Beantown, so they ain't gonna talk about Maxwell and they ain't gonna talk about Robert Parrison. They sure as heck ain't gonna talk about. Mm-hmm. You find me one of them reporters that actually tells the truth about Boston back then. Wake me up. Get jiggy with it, cause it was catchy. The only thing that I like about Paradise was LV's hook. Coolio was a better rapper than that, but Coolio commercialized. But Will made that thing work though. That was peak. That was peak Will. But those are two good crossover songs though. Will couldn't do no wrong back then though. Everybody loved Will back then. But Coolio actually had flow though, because you look at Danny Ainge, a prim proper white boy. Why he got that job with Utah? He stay getting job. You shoot. Barry Bonds came out. Barry Bonds and who else was it that called Boston out? That ain't why they let him go. That's just PR. They let him go because they let him go for other reasons. That's just a cop out. When they start firing a white boy for telling the truth about racism and he lying about racism, you let me know. No one believes that. It was something else with him. Brian Ferry. I didn't like that. And I do like Robert Palmer. Funny thing you mentioned it. That wasn't the best Robert Palmer song. Yeah. Oh yeah. All they gotta do is utilize their starting five. Get rebounds, get physical. New York ain't good. This series, Kenny Jet Smith said something last night which is so true. It could easily be 5-0 Boston. They basically gave, like Charles Barkley said the other night, they had to downplay themselves to let New York win. That's why he ain't been all the way embraced there too. Yeah. What all does Boston? What all does New York got? Because Brunson got to play hard. They actually blew a whistle on his behind last night for a change because he be fouling. Cat ain't gonna blow you up, and Hart's got to play. Hart scores, but what do they got? Because basically Boston choked 2 games away, and then blew three. Think about it. Well, if I'm lying, look it for yourself. Not fully. They embrace him because he's a winner there. Mm, what's up? How you doing? Because he won, and he came up with the way he won. They're more of a bird kind of. It's interesting. You should. I had to do a poll on. I had to go do some Boston checking on that. To be honest with you, they still love Yastrzemski too. They love them Red Sox. I think Brady because of the quarterback. And, they do love Bird, but I think if he called him out, there's something about it that didn't quite out because you notice he never got offered no job there. He got to go back to Indiana. Think about it. I think it's kind of close with him and Brady though. Who's more popular? Please hit these likes up too. Who are y'all playing this year? What division y'all got? That's how I know how rough it is. What division y'all got? A A rough schedule for y'all would be like if y'all played Rhythm Syndicate. Strawberry Lover, I like the guitar vamp. It remind me of Bambi by Prince, but Rhythm Syndicate was influenced too. Well, because Poppy won. Well, Roger is Roger, but Big Poppy was big enough that they, because he won the Bears. That ain't tough. The Bears ain't. That's not tough. Okay, Kansas City. Mm, Chargers should be better this year. They should be, but I don't know. Texans, I don't know. That's not hard. You ain't told me nothing hard yet. Maybe KC, maybe. Bears, Chargers, Texans. I don't know about that. I mean, Caleb Williams should be pretty good this year. But tough, that don't sound tough. I don't know how good Kansas City gonna be this year. Yeah, he probably is. They look at him as a traitor. Had they won that series back in '86, would have been different. Okay, the Bills, nasty. You know Janet gonna win that. Yeah, I mean they had won in '86 when he was there, because you can make the case he had maybe his best years. He had great years in New York, and it's almost like they gave up on him when he went to Toronto. So you can almost make the case. It's an interesting case that can be made. But that would be interesting about Bird and Brady. I have to do some research on that though. I have to do some research. He definitely, you know, I mean, the old guard still loves him. But see, if you're a great white athlete and you speak out against racism and stuff like that, people do kind of walk. Because Pete Rose spoke out against stuff too. Mm-hmm. He spoke out. Average white man, come on now. Just because you a Paisley Park Prince Love, actually, yes, sounds like a take on what AWB would do. ADB gonna get that dub for that baseline. Cut the cut was funky. Yeah, I did a video about it. You gotta watch my videos. I've been posting everything you said. I made a video, and I got a lot of views on it too. And I got a lot of clapbacks, a lot of conversation. Hmm. I agreed with him. No, he not, because let me tell you why. Everybody who watched Jordan don't slurp him. Everybody don't think he belongs in the comment because I'm gonna tell you why. He made some interesting points, whether you agree or not. He grew up in an era where he saw Wilt Chamberlain, Oscar Robinson, Bill Russell, Kareem. So he got about three or four guys he can throw right there that for him were better. He could have thrown George Mikan. I know that because he was him before him, and the white folks did not give him his due. He did all the fish to save Pittsburgh, the shoes. He went to the ABA. That's why he was a rebel. He did Jordan before Jordan, and he didn't get the love. And when he came and they used him, They pushed Magic and Bird for black and white, and then they pushed Jordan. He didn't get his due. So I understand his disdain. I get the disdain because there was a marketing. Oscar Robinson said something true. Jordan's marketing pretty almost oversees him as a player. Not to me, what? Because I think that he was saying that, hey, if all things were fair, I didn't get this. He's supposed to hold back his feelings because the league was racist. Who is the original? Josephine Baker before all of them back in the 30s with the bananas, and no one looks at as an icon. Probably Madonna and Grace. No one said about Millie unless you're in the hood. Commodores, and I love Rocksteady, but come on now, that Lionel Penn game was crazy. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but did you read the question? Who was the icon? Grace was like a cult thing. I remember pull up to the bunker because she was working with Sly and Robbie. I know all about Grace Jones, Marvin, and all that. She's something else too. Straight freight and funny and raw to the bone. Hmm. Yeah, but she's an acquired taste though. She's not the kind of like Millie Jackson was raw though. And you quoting him? You gonna quote him? Well, in White World, it's gonna be Mae West. But if I'm going by the one that hit it all the way around, it's Josephine Baker. Because Josephine Baker did it in France with them bananas on her, and she was doing it up. In fact, she was precursor to Dorothy Dandridge and Marilyn Monroe. He ain't just that; he worse than that. Josephine was bad. She was bad. She ran and left the states, and they'll never do her justice. Because she was a free black woman. Mae West was interesting, but she loved the brothers, and she was kind of freaky, but most of them do in that industry. There was a rumor that she was. NBA 90s bench was the Rockets, yo. Come on now. The Rockets, the Bulls, the Pistons, the Spurs, the teams that won chips in the 90s. That's your answer. No, they weren't better than Harper, Kukos, and them off the bench. Because if they were, they'd have won that game. The 90s was the last time was like that era where the bench was real. All the teams that won chips in the 90s had strong benches. And that was great mark of 90s basketball. The Pacers starting five was better than bench was. I already said what I think. I think the Bulls bench, Pistons bench. That's how the Bulls got a lot of their stuff was off the Pistons. Because the second team on Detroit was real. Houston. So they won those chips. You're not gonna get a lot of love from me about the '98 Pacers because they should have beat the Bulls and they didn't. What's that? I wouldn't want to imagine that. But they know who they can step to. Duran Duran. But Notorious was a cut. That guitar part with Nile Rodgers was flames. Most cats would have knocked him out. But I ain't got no problem with what Giannis did. Giannis took the high road. Cats get brazen. You fool around, get your head turned back. Basketball now is more like that though. It's a different era, so I'm not shocked or surprised. But no, Ted, I can't really. When it comes to benches, I gotta go with the teams that won because if any of those teams had a legit bench back then, educated guess, he might consider Miami. But to me, Dallas, Houston, anything in Texas sounds legit. Because neither LA team could afford him, and they had to give too much to get him. Um, if they smart, they trade him to the West. Maybe try to trade him for Ja or trade him to Houston. I'm gonna take me and baby brother because I'm more of a warhead. I did like grooving though, because grooving did inspire Steve Smokey Robinson's cruising, but I like me and baby brother. I like that vamp because that's the coldest thing that Sly Stone didn't do after that. He ain't going to no Lakers, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because you'd have to get rid of Austin Reeves. We can't get rid of the white hype, and and no, you can't get rid of Connect again because you can't trade Connect. They'd have to get rid of Austin Reeves. I don't think they're gonna do that. He ain't going to no Lakers, and the salary caps don't match up. And if I'm a firm believer, you'd have to throw LeBron in there or something. It'd be something crazy. That ain't gonna happen. But I know Adam Silver's back at hard at work though. He's trying to think of something. Where can I stink Giannis? He's thinking about it right now. Oh, beady eyed in there thinking about it. They treat him like an abusive partner because he wasn't the same. He had to come back. That's where Alonzo Mourning said a long time ago. It's a cold business. He ain't never lie. They are. They've done it wrong though. They got to unload somebody. And they're gonna have to make an example of somebody. I just think that the problem with them is their coach, but they're gonna make a move on someone. Oh, that's fine. Mahalia Jackson is like for gospel. She's like the end all be all. Aretha was bad, so that's a close one. But if I had to pick, I give Mahalia just a slight edge. But it's close. Alexander O'Neal. time I really dug out a broken heart against when he did it live. So I think it just seemed like his slow cuts were slowly coming on, but if we were here tonight, had a nice melody and groove. That's nice. Who's their quarterback? Oh yeah, that's a nice way to act like they're gonna get another Saquon Barkley. Tell you something. If anybody turns out to be worth anything there, they're not gonna sit the ground and find out. That's embarrassing. But again, ain't no right wrong answer. Like I said, who they got at quarterback? Him, DeVito, and Jameson. And you up here talking about they got a stud running back. Do you see what they got lined up on the center? Three Stooges. Come on, man. Come on, man. They stuck with Mo Curley and Larry. Come on, man. DeVito stayed home on the mama's couch. He's a third tier quarterback on his best day. Jameson is entertaining, but he ain't, you don't know where he gonna throw the ball. Heck no. Don't say no. Say no mess like that. Mm-mm. No. I don't want no parts on Aaron Rodgers. Let his butt stay in Wonderland. Pleasure Principle. And that might have been the best song that was on the album. I love that chord progression. But I did like everybody dance because because Jesse loved that ohs. Way off Jimmy was horrible for all the time. Oh, you talking about Butler? You talking about Jimmy Butler? I like Control when it was done live, but the chord progression, the Pleasure Principles, what I like because I like that groove. I like the way it kind of cooked. I think it cooked. I only like Control when she did it live. Don't disturb this groove. I like Rumors, but Don't Disturb This Groove was cold. I love the vocals and the harmony because that was actually a pre New Jack swing type song. Oh yeah, well we already know that. I only got that cat that comes in named Rich that comes in here that talks about Jimmy Butler, and I told him Jimmy, oh man, Jimmy, know what Jimmy trying to do? Jimmy trying to give a James Harden where he pumps and bites and hope he can get like 12 trips to free throw line. That's what he trying to do. But when you put that ball on the ground, Megan gonna have to get shot up. That's not his strong suit. That's why I keep telling people there are tiers to this. Jimmy was a high second, low first. Aside from Rachel Nichols and that bubble, he ain't never played like that. Aside from Rachel Nichols and dribbling the ball, he ain't played like that. And he almost lost his mind then because he ain't no 30-point a night. You get 20, 25. We try not to remember. Can you help me? I thought the character was corny. Yeah, he may have all kinds of stuff. Smokey ain't been and brought his back out. Mm-hmm. It's all subjective. Probably the title track. Hold we got? Oh, he probably did. That's not on Rhythm Nation. Rhythm Nation title track. The Knowledge was a cut. All Right was tight. Yeah, Smokey did all kinds of stuff. I don't know. That's because Tatum doesn't really do the digging. That's why. The problem with Tatum is that he's almost like he's looking to be anointed, like he stepped into a. You ever? So you watch a movie, right? And you get somebody who's supposed to have the leading role, and they do everything but finish it, and then it's like the co-star is just important as the leading role. It's kind of like the Ben Affleck Matt Damon thing, and so it's like who's gonna really be the lead, you know? So, and that's the problem I have with Tatum. He's in the right position and he puts up numbers, but something missing. It's the soul. Like Jalen got the soul, Tatum got the spot, got the shine, and it's missing something. Oh yeah, I heard about that game banging song. We don't talk about that though. Love Will Never Do was cool. And did you know there was supposed to be a verse that was supposed to be a duet with her and Prince? Because there's that part where she goes, "They said they wouldn't let." Her voice goes deep. That was supposed to be Prince's part, but he turned it down. Because that's that part where her voice goes, "Oh, they said it wouldn't work." That was where he's supposed to be. I have to give it to the Cure in that one. And I usually wouldn't pick the Cure over In Excess, but I had to give it for that particular song. Yeah, gang banging, and he wrote the. He was on Def Comedy Jam too. He was on Def Comedy. He did, he would do freestyle poems. Yeah, yeah. Cause did you see him when he went down the hole with that dunk? And I'm like, you can do that all the time. You have a crazy first step. You just don't want to mess up your curly hair. That's all. Got a crazy first step. Like when he goes full throttle, you'd have to file him. This cat is in a situation that if he did that, he would easily get 7 to 10 free throw attempts every night. Every night. He played for the Celtics. He can put points up, but he's a settler. If he played like how Jalen plays, oh, there's no question in my mind. You know, but he likes to shoot that high arch off the back, and he just doesn't make it simple for himself. So he can be problematic, but I understand what you're saying. Because Ant do play hard. Ant just gotta keep working on his game. Ant's getting better with his all around game. And if they get to the finals, watch out. I listened more to Lisa for the songs, but Miami Sound Machine was better. That might be true. I'm not. I ain't really. With Nick, I don't know. It could be true. Might be true. I'm not gonna argue against Nick. It's like I listen to Lisa more, but Miami Sound Machine was a better talent. If that makes any sense. Ant's tough. He play tough. He go at it. You gotta admire a cat that goes at it. He don't be sugarcoating. He play hard. He funny. He talk trash and he backs it up. So I like Ant. And if he goes to the finals, and see, this is the thing too. He got rid of Cat, who was a local cat, and then he turns over Julius Randle, who might be even better. So that's a revelation. And Rudy Gobert hanging on rims. Think about it. I'm just telling you, that's the Ant effect. Because if you think about it, they got a team of cast-offs that nobody else wanted. That's what's gonna make this even sweeter. They're playing hard for this cat. Thank you for everybody that's hitting that subscribe and everything that's going on. Thank you. What's our polls? I haven't even 67% saying okay. For me, Human League, because I like more of their songs. I like their musicality better. NXS, I like the groove, but I was more of a Human League. I like their vocals, but Human League was bad. But I mean, NXS was bad for a minute, but I like Human League more. I'm going with Nia Cherry. You asked me about acts from like 30, 50 years ago, but it's all good though. All right. Take your time. We got some poll coming through. Let's see what we got. See if we got anybody in conversation. So feel free to hit that like up. Gone quiet again. Take a break. Good, good, good. It was coming on. Okay, here we go. Eddie James at last, or till you come back to me. Oh, that's a good one, Calvin. I'm gonna have to take Aretha, and I love it last. That's a good one. Drive. I'm taking drive. I'm taking drive. The Etta James Aretha one is a tough one for me because Etta James was bad, and Aretha's my favorite female artist ever. And that last was Etta's signature song. So, but until you come back to me, still does something to me. So she took Steve Wonder's version and flipped it on his ear. So anyway, that's my thoughts on those. I did like Drive though because she thought it was her song, and they put her there to sing it for Obama and them, and she felt she should have been entitled to sing it, and she thought she was. You know what? I asked you if you can kind of refrain from the vulgar, if you can kind of chill, please. I didn't find it funny. I understood where she was coming from. It may seem kind of petty, but then again, there were black artists from another era who, like Little Richard, who everybody took their songs and they want other people to water it down. They get to perform it, and they're very much alive, and they hurt by it that they kind of got passed over. It's cool. It's kind of like what Walt Clyde Frazier with the whole thing when he tried to talk about Bill Russell and Chamberlain and those guys. People always got to boo boo and downplay folks that paved the way, but they want to hear about what they went through for you to be great now. I think I'm gonna take Depeche Mode on that one. I just don't want to be in, it's the energy. And again, if you knew what Etta James went through, there's nothing funny about it. Record companies was pimping her and hustling, and she spoke out. She very opinionated soul sister. I have her book. She spoke out about the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. She has some strong things to say. She had one of the best quotes I ever heard. Much as I like I'm Only Human, I'm still gonna take Drive. So if you ever get a chance to read her book, check out Etta James's book. She put it down. Yeah, Cars were huge back in the day. Rico Casey. It was big. Some things I like. I think the industry makes you like that. It makes you like that because they feel that she didn't gotten too much. No, let me ask you this. Let's just talk about that for a moment. Do you think she merits having some 35 Grammys? Do you think she merits 35 Grammys for her career? Because if I told you that she got more Grammys than Michael, Whitney, and Prince put together, think about it. Does she merit 35 Grammys? She won 35 Grammys. She's won more Grammys than any other artist. And you would be a little bit, what has she done? Who she done messed with to get that? Yeah. And so, yeah, Aretha got upset with her because when they asked who she thought the queen was, she said Tina Turner. And I understand that because if you watch the way Beyonce performs, she's a meaty physical artist. that would loan herself to Tina Turner. She doesn't really. The Aretha thing would be versatile, but her versatility ain't that strong. But that rock, that type of physical performer, Tina is all over her. So yeah, there are people who are gonna look and think that Beyonce gets this special treatment. She gets co-writer credits, production credits. They all slurp her. They give her all these awards. They don't think she paid her dues. They don't think her music is that. She's a bit of a writer. You don't have to play an instrument to be a songwriter. You know anything about melody. If you understand how to sing in key and tones, you can write. Yeah, because they was pushing that for like the last 15 years to win her album of the year ever since Lemonade. And they gave her an award. And they've been pushing the agenda. That should show you how fake that mess is. I agree with Dionne Warwick. Dionne Warwick know a thing or two about, because you see, Beyonce's music to people who grew up with songs. Dionne Warwick got a catalog of songs that everybody know. You can take 3 or 4 Dionne Warwick songs and you know them 50, 60 years later. What Beyonce songs that's got 5 songs she got that's going to be remembered 25, 30 years from now? And she's a divisive artist. I got to go with Dionne. Because Walking By still sounds cold. I like Our Love, but I don't think it merits that kind of, like Walking By still. That was some with Bergerac and them. That was incredible. Halo maybe, but it's not that deep. Crazy in Love is probably her best song. She's got a couple songs I like, but it's not. She's not in the. It's not in the running. Well, everybody teaching their own. And I like Natalie Cole. I think Natalie Cole, considering who her daddy was, did quite well for herself. But she'll tell you, she tell you to your face, it'd be Dionne Warwick. But Dionne Warwick had classics. It's a classic song, you know. I think people always understand when I talk about classics. I'm talking about money tracks. I'm not talking about a hit song that yeah you know. I'm talking about a song where it's like that song spoke to you in '65 as it'll talk to you, and there's a difference. And I do like Natalie a lot though. I had her book too, and she went through a lot of stuff. But come Natalie Cole, I think this will be, and her version or Billie Holiday. I'll take Billie Holiday version. I love when my mind was a tight song. You do know that all those songs were meant for Aretha Franklin, Charles Yancey, and then her ex-husband. That was supposed to be for Aretha. Aretha turned them tracks down. Natalie Cole got them. That one was up. In a lot of ways, Natalie Cole was a double broke Junior Whopper version of Aretha Franklin, especially her first hits. I did like Sophisticated later. She could perform. Mm-hmm. Keep on hitting that like up, Stephanie. And you better make note of that because I never ever hardly go against Whitney, but Stephanie sung it out. No, never usually ever 9.9 out of 10. But I had this because when I think of home, I think of Stephanie. Okay, I'm gonna tell you an interesting fact, Calvin. Celebration was built off of a vamp from both "Don't Stop Till You Getting Up" by Michael Jackson and also um, "Princess I Want to Be Your Lover." It's the better song. It's the better song. But I do like "I Don't Want to Leave You." I love that ending. That was one of the coldest grooves. That was Minneapolis in full effect. I'd rather listen to "I Don't Want to Leave You," but Celebration gets the W. But I'd rather listen to "I Don't Want to Leave You." They lost by 25 last night. You tell me. And Tibbs, they already had some people write and say Tibbs is known for, oh, Donna Ross, I'm missing you. Because I heard a better version of So Hard to Say Goodbye by OG Cameron, the original. The original was better. Missing You was a strong cut. Lionel Richie wrote that song. Donna Ross sung it. Trip Out Thing, Donna Ross wasn't even that close to Marvin Gaye like that, but the song hit. I like the original better. But I thought Donna Ross Missing You was hitting. Still hits. His track record. Remember D Rose in Chicago? Remember Minnesota, him and Butler and Cat? Do I need to go on? His 7 man rotation, his Mike D'Antoni situation of always running his players until they're bone to the bone. Jalen Brunson always falling and fouling like he looking for help because he wore out. He wear you out, and they lucky. Even though it was a number for Casey, I gotta go with Emotion. I like the way she sung that song. Emotion always kind of moved me, but I did like that. I don't really like this topic because mm, by default, I'm gonna go with "I'll Be Missing You" because Mariah and Boyz II Men sounded like they really just took the life out the song. I like the music of it better, but Faith and 112 sounded better. Yeah, I gotta give it to them because Wing Sweet Day kind of drags. And I Boys to Men were doing everything extra to sound like so nice and all that, and it got tiring for me. And I didn't really want to hear it. I don't like neither one of the songs. So by default, Missing You. But I don't like neither one of them. If I ain't find nothing stimulating about Madonna's Vogue video. So if I think the cultural impact was Madonna though. Distant Lover. And I love Al Green, but you got to pick a stronger song. Marvin Gaye gonna get the dub on that one. Yeah, from the video. Now you asked me what more better song. It was in Vogue. Madonna couldn't do no wrong back then. She had a decade of run. All right, we're getting into another gear. Let's see what I got. Uh, God, you taking me back 40 years ago when Duran Duran broke up and they two acts. I'm going with Power Station. Arcadia was alright, but I like the Power Station better. Robert Palmer and them and that Tony Thompson drums was just doing it for me. Arcadia was alright, but the Power Station had it going on. That was an interesting time period too. Funny how they manipulated that. Ensemble Bond never did have a solo career, but they did a lot of maneuvering. They mix and matched a lot. I had them. Not in a long time. Not in a long time. What makes you ask? It's not something that I even would partake in once upon a time. time ago. There's some foods I used to like. Depends. Oh, me and Mrs. Jones. Because You, Me, and He was a hood song. It didn't hit like Mrs. Jones did. Mrs. Jones is like a standard song, and it carries crazy weight. And it was done with those strings and that way Billy Paul was singing that song, that seductive Patti LaBelle. Because I'm on with her, Michael McDonald was the truth. I did like Why Should I Cry, but Nina Hendrix never get the right material to connect what she got. And she still looks good today too. No, my own was a good cut. Al Green. I like Lou Rawls, but this is Al Green. Al Green. Straighten It Out was a cut. I had that album a long time ago. You from that down south singing. Got that John Taylor type of vibe in him. Mm-mm. Juicy. straight. All right now. Um, Probably dimple fields. Dimple field. Everybody plays the fools to cut. What's happening? We good. We good. Got them all coming. We good. We good. Not much. Everything's all good. You mean young Americans? There was no young Americans is probably what you mean. I probably take young Americans. I'm doing good. How you doing? And thank you for coming through. Damn. Yeah, baby, come back. That was a big song in the late '70s. I want to say who was it? Was it Jessica Simpson? One of them sampled that song, but I like the original. That was a real happening thing. Then, if you could have some harmony, but he took it from Bobby Womack. I forgot what Womack's song was. We got the chorus from it, and there was another cat he took that groove from too. I did like "Do You Think I'm Sexy." I like that by Rod Stewart. But Bowie Young Americans was like another level, especially with the Luther background. All right. It just hits a little different, that's all. I was gonna go out, but it's so cold. Ooh. 75%. Okay. I guess because if you go by a hit career, you're gonna go Phil Collins, but I can't say I'm near blown away by neither one of their solo careers, if I'm honest. Zoom, come on now. Zoom. And I like Cupid, but it was actually the Spinners who did Cupid. Four Tops and Do Cupid was the Spinners. But it's Zoom. Zoom hit hard. Depends So what kind of people you been hanging around? Zoom's gonna get that love. Yeah, feel by default. I never really felt John Lennon's solo career. I like that one. They did that one when they left Motown. When she was my girl. They probably, well, if I had my top 10 male vocal singing groups, they probably number two. What makes you think I did? What makes you think I didn't grow up on his music? But I like the old stuff though. His 70s era was my favorite of his. Just the Way You Are was a beast of a song. Still Rock and Roll. Scenes from Italian Restaurant. New York State of Mind. There's old stuff. Ralph Travers was the best singer, but Bobby had the it. Love Natural High. I've been listening to that all during the week, actually. You could do more with Ralph, though. The problem with Johnny, he had that strong voice, but that's a great song. I like their vocals and that cadence. I like Johnny when he came to New Edition, but Ralph had that it. Ralph just never got the right material. He had the it. He just didn't have the it songs. That's the only problem. Yeah. 1979, after they came out with I'll Be Working My Way Back to You, they did Cupid because the lead singer, the guy who passed away this week, did a remake of Cupid. It's on there. Go ahead and Google it. Yeah, I like that Miss You. I like the vocals on that. Like and Function. Good group. Good band. Mm-hmm. I like the way Jeffrey sung that song. What we had was much more than they could see. Yeah. That's a good one. I gotta go with Remember the Blue Notes, but I did like the Manhattan's one. Yeah, Function had a good groove going. I like them. Hmm. Yeah, they had Shining Star. They had a song called Crazy. They had some cuts. I loved Gerald Austin. That cat can sing. Just didn't get enough of a solo career, but he could sing. Listen to Gerald Lawson sometime. Take Me Where You Are is my jam. He be hitting that note. That cat can sing. I like that Alexander O'Neal. I like Alexander O'Neal. 40 years ago, Rock Me Tonight and You Are My Lady. Those songs were big. Um, I'm trying to think. Mm, Let Your Feelings Show. That was Let Your Feelings Flow. That's my favorite Peebo song. That's my favorite one. That's a good question here. I got to go with Footsteps in the Dark because that drum is the most haunting thing. Dum, 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 dum. That and the way Ron Ozzy sings that cadence, it's just cold. It's a colder song. Now, Reasons is great on the album, and of course, with the folklore about people misconstruing it. Footsteps in the Dark has hit something different. Footsteps in the Dark just kind of claps a little harder for me. It's that bass, it's that pocket. I like Reasons. It showcases more live, but yeah, that groove is doom. It's kind of haunting when you hear it. Especially when Ronald's like, in the dark, in the dark. The chorus is kind of spooky, but it worked. Love Frankie Beverly Mays, yeah. He ran the group, he ran the band. He just used as a feature. It's a marketing tool. He was he had the rights to the name. He just used it as marketing. He wrote all the songs, he produced the songs, he played on the record. He just used it. It's like Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons, except the Four Seasons actually wrote all this stuff. But who are you talking about? That's the way of the world. They two different songs. Can't you be trying to compare to an anthem to a song that was a slow jam vibe? But I'm gonna still take her win in that round. I gotta pick Joe Tex because that song was funny and funky, and I did like Hot Pants. But Joe Tex gotta have his moment. I'll say that that kind of thing is kind of out there. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like the Gap Band. Fantasy. I like Cooling Me Out, but Fantasy still hits. It's just so organic. I gotta go. Just some come up. But appreciate everybody coming through. Just got some information, so I'll be back tomorrow. Peace out.